And go blue, everybody. It's John and TJ here, and we are breaking from our normal shows Tuesdays and Thursdays because we have something that just simply can't wait till the next show. This is very exciting news for Michigan fans. Ohio State fans having a mixed reaction to the breaking news that Matt Patricia, formerly of the Patriots, Detroit Lions head coach, Patriots again, and then the Eagles, is now the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, replacing Jim Knowles, who just went to Penn State. You can see the trajectory of the career. And TJ has some firsthand experience of having dealt with this as a Lions fan. TJ, when you heard that this was happening, we were going to do it on our show, but we just ran out of time. So we're doing it now. We're doing it here. But what do you think? This is an upgrade or a downgrade from Jim Knowles for the Ohio State Buckeyes?
When we first heard the rumors that this was a possibility, I couldn't believe it, man. This guy has failed everywhere he has gone since the Patriots, since Belichick and Brady have carried him. John, we're going to look at some stats here in a moment, but before we get into it, look, as a Lions fan, I went through 3 years of hell as this guy is our coach, totally destroyed a franchise. Bob Quinn, the general manager from the Patriots, no coach from the Patriot way, by the way, has succeeded under the Belichick umbrella. And if Ohio State fans are going to try and turn this like this is some good hire, some strategic hire, they're out of their mind. Okay. Mm-hmm. Matt Patricia runs a bend but don't break defense. They give up a lot of yards. They will try and get teams to settle for field goals, but that's a dangerous game. It's a very dangerous game in the college game. And I do feel like from a Michigan perspective, we are going to, especially teams that give up yards, that bend don't break, we're going to run the ball up and down their ass, bro. We are going to work that defense. They're going to get exhausted at the end of games. As a Michigan fan and a Lions fan, so I've seen it firsthand, this is the best hire we could ask for considering the candidates for Ohio State. And I don't think Ohio State fans, and they're going to look at this like, oh, you're being biased. No. If you have a good hire, I'll tell you. Chip Kelly, good hire. Yep. We'll give you credit when credit's due.
Yep.
This is not a good hire. And I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this when the fan base and the players, because we're going to get into that too, John, will turn on Matt Patricia. And Ryan Day will use Matt Patricia as a scapegoat when things start to fall apart. He will be the one they sacrifice when things get a little hot in Columbus. And we got some numbers, John. Whenever you're ready, we'll pull those up.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so here's if we look at Matt Patricia's tenure as a defensive coordinator, you will notice 25th in yards, 26th in yards. He does have a few top 15 seasons, 8th, 9th, 13th. And then even with the Lions, his first year, it was 10th. Now, I want everyone to remember that this 10th got better after they made the Snack Harris trade. It was actually worse, but once they added Snack Harris in the trade, the defense did improve that season. The area where you will see is points allowed, but I want to explain to you how this is a misleading stat.
Mm-hmm.
They're ranked 9th, they're ranked 10th, they're ranked 8th, 10th, 1st, 5th. Then as you can see, when he was the head coach at the Lions, 16th, 22nd, 32nd. The reason why this is a misleading stat is because football is a complementary game, John. And when you have an offense that is being ran by Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and you are sustaining drives like Tom Brady does. Tom Brady was the king of sustained long drives. It keeps the defense off the field. It keeps the opponent's defense on the field. You have a time advantage. When he got to the Lions, you can see what happened when he didn't have Tom Brady and Belichick carrying him. Right. Our offense is under Matt Stafford, Super Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback Matt Stafford, with tons of talent. There was tons of talent on those teams. We had playoff teams before Matt Patricia came. Jim Caldwell got us to the playoffs twice. Matt Patricia takes over. The team completely disintegrates. We go into a terrible era. As a Lions fan, it was the worst era of football I've ever experienced. The players hate Matt Patricia. We'll get into that too in a moment. And not only that, they destroyed everything that was built from Jim Caldwell, from what Jim Schwartz built, and what Martin Mayhew built as the general manager when Bob Quinn came in, and then Matt Patricia, the Patriot way. I'm telling you, these guys benefited from the Belichick, Brady, and some could argue, did Belichick benefit from Brady? Because we saw what happened once Brady left, right? It's an interesting debate, but what we're focusing on is obviously Matt Patricia. And in my opinion, John, and we'll hit on what happened when he became the defensive coordinator for the Eagles when the Eagles fell apart at the end of the year.
Right.
Under Sean Desai, 353 yards a game. Matt Patricia takes over 4 final games of the year. It goes up to 363 points per game, goes up by 2 points. The reality is everything this guy has touched out of the Brady Belichick era, he has made it worse. And I'm going to tell you guys, I feel very confident in watching this guy closely and how he operates, not only as a architect of a defense, but the way he handles coaches and players. And let's get into the players, John. So here's some of the players to give you guys an example of what we went through. So when Matt Patricia was let go as a Lions head coach, thank God, shout out to Dan Campbell. Darius Slay, so for those who don't know, Darius Slay and Matt Patricia, they beefed a lot because one time during fall camp, John, Matt Patricia went to Darius Slay and essentially told him, "You think you're good, don't you?" Something along those lines. And Darius Slay kind of took that personally because he came off of a Pro Bowl and all that. And then another player, Stephen Tolick. This is the best news I've heard. The city of Detroit and its fans deserve so much better. And the reason why is because Stephen Tolick, Darius Slay, Glover Quinn also had issues with Matt Patricia. A lot of the veterans had issues with Matt Patricia because under Jim Caldwell was a different culture. And Matt Patricia literally came in, destroyed everything. A'Shawn Robinson, another player, former Alabama player, literally saying, "You told me you'll take my career away from me, but guess they have other plans for you." He bashed with all of our players. The culture, the locker room was destroyed. Players wanted out. I remember Quadre Diggs was another player that Matt Patricia butted heads with. It was just a terrible time. Ezekiel Answer, another one. Welp, Eric Ebron about to text Bob and see if he's straight. Like
wild stuff.
At the end of the day, and these aren't even all of them. There's a lot more. There's actually, if you want to really get into a deeper dive, there are additional, especially when you went to Philadelphia, there are additional Twitter post chains that you could read between some of these players just talking shit about Matt Patricia. It's not hard to find. Look for anything with Quadre Diggs and Darius Slay and Glover Quinn because they keep going at it. They still go at it over it because he frustrated the entire team. It was a team that was ascending. It just needed help to get over the top. Matt Patricia killed it, John.
Yeah, and a couple things that I have kind of top of mind about this. Number one is that any year that Matt Patricia actually had to run on his own or to actually orchestrate the defense, which from what I understand did happen when you see the years in the Patriots where it was a better defense. A lot of the times it's because Bill Belichick felt he had to get more involved. When Bill Belichick is the head coach of your team, he's the de facto play caller. He's the de facto running the defense, no matter what. And so you really didn't see fully what he was capable of on his own until the Detroit Lions, where they, as you saw, they had a bottom of the entire league defense his last year. And I think he was almost at the very bottom. He was like 31st the year before and then 32nd his last year in 2020. So number one, any year where he's running solo or he's in charge of the defense, it hasn't worked out. He plays a lot of cover one. He plays a lot of man coverage, which we've seen with a certain defensive coordinator at Michigan that played a lot of man coverage and not a lot of pinning safeties back and things like that. You saw that go. So that's something that I thought was worth flagging because Ohio State has an offensive-minded head coach. So he's going to be relying on Matt Patricia to run the defense.
Yeah, and I want to stress this too. There's a couple points, John, that you reminded me. All right, first of all, some of you would argue, well, the Lions didn't have any talent on defense. That's not true. Under Terrell Austin, the former defensive coordinator, who then went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Lions actually had top 10 defenses. They had a lot of talent on that defensive side of the ball. That's why we were making it to the playoffs. So no, there was talent on that defense. There was Pro Bowler players on that defense, playoff caliber defenses. In 2026, the Lions actually had one of the better defenses in NFL history. So the reality is, when Matt Patricia took over, he completely gutted the scheme, and obviously into his own. But one of the things he does, John, is he likes to run some zone.
Mm-hmm.
And his zone defenses, get this is no bullshit. We kind of ran into a little bit of Wink Martindale. There's a complexity to it. There's such a complexity to it. The players in the NFL had trouble adapting and understanding their roles and assignments. And Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn would use the players as an excuse as to why it's not executing. The only time Matt Patricia really had success was against Arizona and Kyler Murray. I don't know why, but every single time we played them, he was able to shut Kyler Murray down when Kyler Murray was actually performing pretty well. Outside of that, though, Matt Patricia literally got burned all the damn time. And it's because there's always these leaky holes in this defense. I'm telling you right now, mark it down right now. February 12th, 2025, TJ Ronin is telling you, this fan base, Ohio State, is going to lose their mind over this defense. They're going to pull their hair out because it's going to be bend but don't break. And I'm going to tell you this, they're going to break. And there's going to be holes in this leaky defense. There's no way he's going to be able to dumb it down to where he can run the defense he wants to at a college level. And not only that, he is not a people's person.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a bad match, man.
Yeah, and when was the last time that he was part of a college team, period? It was 2003, 22 years ago at Syracuse as an offensive graduate assistant.
Yeah.
That was the last time he was coaching in college, where now you've got to be, and we cover it every week. You've got to be on the recruiting trail all the time. You've got to be plugged into NIL, all of that stuff. And you could make an argument that Wink Martindale's more the closer. But what's Matt Patricia's role going to be? Anything? Because he doesn't recruit. He hasn't recruited in 22 years.
And one of the things too about recruiting, John, it's about authenticity and relationships. And I'm going to tell you this. And again, I'm not saying this as a Michigan fan. I'm saying this to you as a Lions fan who went through it. One of the biggest issues with Matt Patricia is he's not authentic, and he comes across as fake or trying to be something he's not. I'm telling you, these kids are going to see through it. Now, granted, Ohio State has a strong NIL game, and I know Ryan Day is a good recruiter, so maybe he can overcome that. But I'm telling you guys, this is going to not end up well. I cannot see it ending up well at all. He will not last at Ohio State. I give it 2 years. I give it 2 years, man. And I actually, and John, we can relate to this a little bit. We had Wink Martindale come to us after being out of the college game for so long. Mm-hmm. He had to adapt. He had to evolve. Here's the difference, though. Wink Martindale did not have to depend on Belichick and Brady. And then when Wink Martindale got an opportunity to be the guy himself, his defenses didn't crumble into the last place defense in the league. And when Belichick, again, to Patricia, when he got another chance with Philly. Ask Philly fans how that went. Terrible. Yeah. So, hey, kudos to us, though. Great hire. I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah, we're going to give 5 in a row. And Ohio State's, it could be a tough year next year, man. It really could be a tough year for them next year in terms of what they're used to. I'm not saying not make a bowl game. I'm not saying not win eight games. You'll probably win 8 games. Yeah. But you're not going to have your dominant year like I think many of these fans are expecting.
Yeah, I'm thinking I've got 9-3 for them right now. I think that they can coast through still more of the cupcake and more of the less talented teams because they can just out talent some of them. But when it comes to the toughest opponents, I don't see them being able to overcome Jeremiah Smith or no Jeremiah Smith. I don't see them being able to overcome the defensive struggles that are gonna happen when Matt Patricia is running that defense. So it's looking like 9-3 city for them, which, there could be trucks burning because Ryan Day just got extended to 2031, I believe. So he got his extension. Probably
Yep.
an enormous buyout, and now Matt Patricia's coming to town.
And I promise you, any of these new hires will be the sacrificial lamb if things don't go right. So he's got himself some protection, some padding. The seat's not going to be hot for him, even though the fan base wanted to literally harm him and his family just a month and like 2 months ago. No big deal. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to watch. And I'm going to tell you right now, as a Michigan fan, we're going to enjoy every second of it because I promise you this Patricia defense is going to get burnt. So let's enjoy the show, boys. And as you know, it's the way, baby. FOSU. And again, hey, all my points, though, I do want to say I am a Michigan fan, but from an unbiased perspective, I'm telling you, he's a shit coach. He actually ruined 3 years of Lions football for me. And I went through the 0-16 team. So just thank God for Dan Campbell. We'll just say that. And Brad Holton.
Fair enough. Well, we'll continue following as developments arise. But today's breaking news: Matt Patricia hired as Ohio State's defensive coordinator. Congratulations to the Ohio State University on this hire.
Great hire, boys.
All right.
Go blue. Go blue, John.
Go blue. We'll see you Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern for the Collins Show.
Yes, sir.